Hello and welcome to World Konnect. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. We are back again with a roundup of all that made news across the world. US-Israel ties rekindle as PM Netanyahu visits Trump's America. Horrific terror strike at a Sufi shrine in Pakistan to allege assassination of Kim Jong Un's brother in Malaysia. See how Cuba is remembering literary genius Marquez. Find out who walks away with the top honors at Grammys and BAFTA. This is World Konnect, your window to the world. Let's begin with the focus of the show. A week of violence and bloodshed in Pakistan, about 100 killed in a wave of terror strikes. Pak forces launch massive offensive, claim killing scores of militants. Islamabad and Kabul spar over terror sanctuaries after shrine attack in Sindh. Kim Jong Un's estranged brother dies under mysterious circumstances. Speculations rife that Pyongyang poisoned Jong Nam for speaking against the first family. 4 suspects arrested over the killing. Israeli PM Netanyahu visits United States, receives warm welcome by the new administration. After Trump's one-state remark triggers controversy, US envoy to UN reiterates commitment to two-state solution to Israel-Palestine conflict. And stars descent at glittering BAFTA and Grammys awards. Adele rocks Grammy night, wins 5 awards. LaLaLand takes top BAFTA honors. Pakistan authorities have launched a security crackdown across the nation following Thursday's massive terror attack on a shrine, killing at least 80 people. The attack took place in the town of Sehwan in Sindh province when a suicide bomber blew himself up among the devotees. Militant group Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the attack. The bombing is Pakistan's deadliest attack in 2 years and capped a wave of violence this week. A series of attacks over the week has hit all 4 of Pakistan's provinces and 2 major cities, killing nearly 100 people. Terror attacks targeted Lahore, Peshawar and Quetta this week, underlining the ability to strike anywhere, anytime in the country. Pakistan closed 2 of its border crossings with Afghanistan. It also demanded action against Pakistan's most wanted 76 terrorists reportedly hiding in Afghan territory. Security forces claimed killing scores of militants in an operation to hunt down terrorists. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and Army Chief General Qamar Bajwa visited people who were wounded in the shrine attack. Pakistan has blamed terror sanctuaries in Afghan territory for the attack, while Kabul in return accused Islamabad of going soft on certain terror groups like Afghan Taliban and Haqqani network, resulting in shaky security situation. A man falls sick at the airport and dies. Now, nothing remarkable about that. What if I were to tell you that the man was poisoned? What if the victim was a brother of a dictator? What if the dictator happens to be Kim Jong Un of North Korea? Like a typical spy thriller, the murder has raised more questions than answers. Pyongyang has neither accepted nor denied claims of its involvement. With the probe on, 4 people have been arrested so far.
It sounds exactly like a spy thriller. A mysterious tale where questioning the regime leads to nowhere but only invites the wrath of the king. The case of Kim Jong Nam, half-brother of North Korea's powerful leader Kim Jong Un, is believed to be not so different, far from fiction, scary and real. Jong Nam died on Monday in Kuala Lumpur while he was waiting to board a flight. He suddenly fell sick at the airport and died on way to the hospital. Amid widespread speculations that Jong Nam was killed on the orders of Kim Jong Un, South Korea's spy agency said that 2 female North Korean agents assassinated Jong Nam by poisoning him.
The cause of murder seems likely to be of poison, but it is to be checked precisely through autopsy. I hear the autopsy is to be conducted today.
The reports of poisoning are yet to be confirmed. Malaysian officials conducted autopsy on Jong Nam. However, results have not been made public. With the probe underway, some arrests were made in the case, including those of 2 women. The suspects included a female Indonesian and a Malaysian man thought to be her boyfriend. Another woman traveling on a Vietnamese passport was also nabbed. The women were identified using CCTV footage from Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Kim Jong Nam, the older half-brother of Kim Jong Un, was known to spend a significant amount of his time outside North Korea. He had spoken out publicly against his family's dynastic control of the North. The two brothers with different mothers were said to have never met each other. Jong Nam questioned his younger brother's leadership qualities, but at the same time also said that he was not interested in leading the nation himself. For many years, it was believed that Jong Nam was being groomed to succeed his father, Kim Jong Un. He would have ruled the nation had he not embarrassed Pyongyang by attempting to sneak into Japan on a fake passport. Jong Nam had been living a comfortable life in casino hub of Macau. Reports suggested that he had no fear of being killed as he used to move around without bodyguards. It is said that after knowing that his brother Jong Un was after him, Jong Nam had even written to him seeking safety. Many believe, given Jong Nam's criticism to his leadership, Kim Jong Un considered him as a threat to his authority. But there are claims that find no grounds for Jong Un to assassinate his brother, given his reported letter seeking safety and lack of interest in assuming power. As soon as the news of Jong Nam's killing broke, Jong Nam neither released any statement nor clarification over claims of its involvement. In fact, North Korean ambassador Kang Chol visited the morgue in Kuala Lumpur where the autopsy was conducted. The sequence of events raised further questions about the whole episode. According to media reports that quoted Malaysian government sources, North Korean government officials in Malaysia objected to the autopsy of Kim Jong Nam's body and requested that the body be released to them right away. However, Malaysia rejected the request. Malaysia, which confirmed South Korea's claim that the killed man was Jong Nam, said that it was ready to hand over the body to his kin once a request from Pyongyang is made. There are a number of questions that need to be answered. Questions about the mystery surrounding the killing and what the kingdom of Kim Jong-un has to do with it.
Defectors of Pyongyang are not known to fare well. The alleged murder of Kim Jong Nam, Kim Jong Un's half-brother, has once again turned the focus on the alleged hit list of the rogue nation. From head of states to office bearers to even family members, North Korean regime has had a long history of ruthless tracking and assassination of those they consider a threat to the regime.
According to South Korean intelligence officials, North Korean ruler Kim Jong Un got his half-brother Kim Jong Nam killed by his agents. Although no evidence has been provided to support the claim, but authorities in Seoul find no reason to rethink their claim. The mysterious death of Jong Nam, allegedly being poisoned with needles, has once again brought into the spotlight the reported assassinations conducted by Pyongyang to remove those considered a threat. The internationally isolated nation has a long history of assassinations, including estranged relatives of the first family, defectors, and other figures critical of the regime. Blue House attack 1968. In 1968, Pyongyang sent 31 select commandos to kill the then South Korean President Park Chung-hee. The bid failed as the attackers were identified and spotted a few meters away from the presidential Blue House in Seoul. A gunfight erupted, but the assassination bid failed. The attack claimed the lives of many South Koreans. Presidential assassination attempt 1974. The then South Korean president survived an assassination bid in 1974 when an attacker opened fire on him while he was delivering a speech. He, however, survived, but his wife was killed in the attack. Burma 1983. In 1983, reported North Korean agents planted bombs at the Martyrs Mausoleum in Rangoon. The bid was aimed at killing the South Korean president Chun Do-hwa, who was to lay a wreath at the mausoleum. But the president's cavalcade was delayed and the bombs exploded. The president survived, but the attack claimed the lives of several South Korean officials and some Burmese nationals. Diplomat killing 1996. The South Korean diplomat Choi Duk-kyung was found bludgeoned to death in Vladivostok in 1996. The killing was reported by South Korean media as an act of revenge for the death of more than 20 North Korean commandos whose submarine ran aground on a South Korean beach a month earlier. Elimination of family defectors. In 1997, two assailants fatally shot dead Yi Hang-yong, a nephew of Jong Nam's mother, Sung-hee-rim. Hang-yong had been living in South Korea since he defected from the Kim family in 1982. His revelations about North Korea's first family's private life is understood to have triggered his assassination. In December 2013, Kim Jong Un executed his uncle Jang Song-taik for plotting to overthrow the state. Considered one of the country's most powerful men at one point of time, Jang Song-taek was accused of everything from conspiring against Kim to instigating disastrous currency reform. In May 2015, North Korea's defense minister, Hyun Yong-chol, was executed for showing disloyalty to the leader Kim Jong Un. According to reports, Hyun had fallen asleep at an event attended by Kim. He was reportedly killed by anti-aircraft fire in front of an audience of hundreds.
When Obama-led United States allowed a UN resolution condemning Israeli settlement construction in December last year, it was considered one of the lowest points in the relations of the two nations. But times have changed. With Donald Trump in the Oval Office, the bonhomie between the two powers appears to have rekindled. As Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu paid his first visit to Trump's America, the bonding between the two leaders could have long-term implications in the restive region.
Earlier this week, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrived in the US for the first time after the new Trump administration took over the White House. The warm bonding between the two leaders was for all to see. Trump clubbed his admiration for Israel alongside his rebuke of Iran's nuclear ambitions and the deal by the previous Obama administration. Regarding the Israel-Palestine conflict, President Trump raked up quite a storm as he suggested that both two-state or one-state solution could be possible. He was quick to add that the best solution would be one acceptable to the two warring sides. His reference to one state was highlighted in the media as indicative of a significant departure from the 2 decades of US commitment to an eventual two-state solution to the Middle East crisis. Israeli Prime Minister was vocal in hailing President Trump and the rekindled partnership with the United States after nearly 8 years of strained and often bitter ties with the Obama administration. To clear the air on President Trump's position, US Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, said that the United States still supports a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
First of all, two-state solution is what we support. Anybody that wants to say the United States doesn't support two-state solution, that would be an error.
Meanwhile, French Foreign Minister Jean-Marc Ayrault said, after talks with his US counterpart Rex Tillerson, that the United States' position on the Middle East peace process is confused and worrying, affirming that the only realistic option was a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The visible bonhomie between the new US administration and Israel is expected to have a significant impact in the Middle East in the coming years. The Israeli government recently announced more than 11,000 new settler homes in the West Bank, as well as the retroactive legalization of several outpost Jewish homes built on private Palestinian land. The bold moves are believed to have been encouraged by President Trump's unexpected election victory.
References to Russia continues to haunt the Trump administration. In the first casualty to his team, Michael Flynn, the national security advisor of the US, had to resign after it was revealed that he had misled Vice President Mike Pence and other top White House officials about his conversations with the Russian ambassador to the United States.
3 weeks on the job, US National Security Advisor Michael Flynn quit his job amid revelations that he had discussed US sanctions on Russia with Moscow's ambassador to the United States before Trump took office. It is not legal for private citizens to talk diplomacy in the United States, and as Flynn is reported to have discussed issues related to state affairs with the Russian ambassador Sergei Kislyak. The then-President Barack Obama, after the presidential elections, had announced sanctions expelling 35 Russian diplomats for their purported meddling in the US elections in December last year. Shortly after this, Flynn is said to have had a phone conversation with the Russian ambassador. Flynn and Trump's close team have been repeatedly since then saying that the sanctions were not discussed by the duo then. But following reports of investigations by the Justice Department and the US counterintelligence, Flynn made his resignation public. In his resignation letter, he had mentioned that he inadvertently briefed the Vice President-elect and others with incomplete information regarding his phone calls with the Russian ambassador. Not just with Flynn, media reports indicate that close associates of Trump have had repeatedly contacted senior Russian intelligence officials even before the November 8th elections. The US president stood by Flynn throughout and said that he had sought his resignation as he was not happy with the way he had communicated information to Vice President Mike Pence, not blaming his content on need for communication. Donald Trump also said that the people responsible for the White House leaks passing on information to the media illegally will have to pay a big price. It was not the case with the US lawmakers, including prominent Republicans, asking for an extensive probe into the White House ties with Russia. Even as a new chapter seemed to be opening between the United States and Russia after the new administration took charge, concerns over national security have to be first addressed before any more concrete steps the Trump team can take towards changing the situation. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump's choice for the new National Security Advisor, retired Vice Admiral Robert Howard, turned down the offer. According to the White House officials, Howard cited family and financial reasons for opting not to take the job. However, sources suggest that Howard wanted to bring in his own team, and this, in part, is a reason for turning down the job. More challenges for the new administration.
The EU-Canada trade deal has been sealed and finalized. Canadian PM Justin Trudeau became the first Canadian head of state to address the European Parliament on Thursday. Trudeau said the union was an unprecedented model for peaceful cooperation in a speech that marked his distance from both the United States under the new President Donald Trump, who has questioned the value and future of the bloc, and from Britain, which has voted to leave it. Trudeau said an effective European voice on the global stage was not just preferable, but essential. Opinion polls in France have predicted a final May face-off between far-right National Front presidential candidate Marine Le Pen and centrist Emmanuel Macron. Conservative François Fillon was meanwhile piled up as France's financial prosecutor chose to pursue a probe into fake work scandal. Fillon's chance of winning the presidency seemed to be spiraling down following reports of his wife being paid for the work she may not have done. Having managed to just hold on to the candidature after facing differences from his own party, 62 years old Fillon has said that he would step down as a Republican's candidate if he were to put under formal investigation. This step, however, could take months or even years. And now let us take a look at some more stories making news around the world. 100 Years of Solitude, Love in the Times of Cholera, Chronicle of a Death Foretold. Colombian novelist and journalist Gabriel Garcia Marquez captivated readers through his literary genius for generations. Known for brilliant incorporation of magic realism in his works, the Nobel Prize-winning writer is being remembered in Cuba on his 90th birth anniversary. A bronze statue has been erected in his memory in Cuba.
Cuba erected a bronze statue to honor the celebrated Colombian novelist Gabriel Garcia Marquez. The statue, created by Villar-Soberon, was erected in capital Havana's center at the Garden of the Artistic and Literary Lyceum. The work intends to celebrate 90 years since the birth of Garcia Marquez, that falls on the 6th of March. It also marks 50 years since the publication of his famous novel 100 Years of Solitude. 100 Years of Solitude traces the story of the Bondia family in the fictional village of Macondo. Macondo represents the town of Aracata, where Marquez was born and spent most of his childhood. Nobel Prize winner Marquez's poetical style of writing has captivated the imagination of many around the world. The magical realism of his many novels and stories, too, has been his unique penchant. Starting his career as a journalist, Marquez went on to pen many plots, including Love in the Time of Cholera, The General in the Labyrinth, and Leaf Storm, to mention a few. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1982 for a richly composed world of imagination reflecting South America's life and conflicts. The author's rich literary traditions and strong outlook still excite book lovers from around the world, carving out a niche, making him a literary legend.
Now we get you the glimpses of the glittering ceremony of Grammys and BAFTA awards. Musical talent of Adele gets highest accolades while LaLaLand continues to conquer hearts.
Adele was the star of Grammy Awards this year as she won 5 Grammys, all categories in which she was nominated for. Her comeback album 25 and single Hello made a huge impression, beating Beyoncé's Lemonade album that went into the award night with 9 nominations. Adele took home the statues for Album, Record and Song of the Year. Beyoncé won just 2. The other big Grammy winner was late British singer David Bowie. Bowie won all 5 of the nominations for his final album, Black Star, including that of the Best Rock Song. LaLaLand continues its winning streak this award season as it took home 7 BAFTAs. The movie was adjudged the best film and its director Damien Chazelle won the Best Director award. Emma Stone won the Best Actress. Casey Affleck won the Best Actor award for his performance in Manchester by the Sea. The movie also fetched an award for Kenneth Lonergan in the Best Original Screenplay category. British Indian actor Dev Patel won the Best Supporting Actor for his role in the movie Lion. The film also won an award for Best Adapted Screenplay. Viola Davis won the BAFTA for the Best Supporting Actress for her performance in Fences, based on a Pulitzer Prize-winning play that describes the life of a black family in 1950s Pennsylvania. Next big stop is the Oscars.
This brings us to the end of this edition of World Konnect. Do send us your feedback. You can write to us. Our email ID is worldkonnect.ddnews@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and do keep in touch on Twitter. Before we go, we leave you with these glimpses of the annual King's Carnival in France's picturesque Nice. It is the first major public event being held in the French Riviera town after the Bastille Day attack. Thanks for staying with us. Goodbye.